What's up everyone, it's Jan Boris, new video, and in this video I will be interpreting the odds for semifinal 1 and semifinal 2, which are already available and they are very interesting. I will do it for semifinal 1, for semifinal 2, and I will come with some conclusion. I will give you some insights I have from my previous videos, and also I will interpret those data which are now available and they are crazily changing. So this is more like interpretation now on, which can change in a month completely, or at least a lot. Let's talk. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm very glad you're here. Subscribe to the video, like the video, share the video, become a member, or buy me a coffee, give me a super like if you want to support this channel a little bit more. I would be very happy about it. Of course, for members this video will be available much sooner, which comes from any other video I will be uploading, and for you it's now. For everybody it's now, it doesn't matter. I just want to, motivate you a little bit. Anyway, let's talk about semifinal 1 and semifinal 2, interpretation of the data of the odds which are now available. Let's start with semifinal 1, because this is very interesting when I was watching it, because those semifinals, it's about like who will qualify and somehow from which place. I think it's more important like who has a chance for qualifying, and unless the table who can win Eurovision, those odds are a little bit different and give chances to more countries than it maybe is visible in the other ladder. Let's talk about semifinal 1. There are 10 countries, of course 15 countries are participating, 18 countries are voting, plus the world. And also, what is very important, only 10 is qualifying and it's only a public vote. From previous year, we know that the odds were accurate almost completely, with only one exception, one mistake in semifinal 2, which it can happen also this year. But also, if you watch for the last year data, they just show before the show, which it's not the state right now. So those will be variables, especially on the lower positions, because there are some countries which that would be a super surprise if they won't qualify. For example, Croatia in here is number 1 and Ukraine with 96% chance, following by Lithuania with 94% chance, Finland with 92. I actually agree with all those data. I think those 4 countries really had the biggest chance. I think this is almost certain that they will qualify. And maybe you ask Finland, but this is actually only kind of fun act in this semifinal. The rest is in the other one, so this is a big advantage. And also I think this is the public pleasure, votable fun, pure fun. It's a concept like Poland last year, for example. Even I'm not sure, I think it was a little bit more coincidental, but this is exactly this power. It's a little bit of a parody, and we already saw in national selection in Finland, UMK, that they create a concept out of it, which is a good strategy in my opinion, and it will for sure work live at Eurovision. I'm 100% sure that those 4 countries are qualifying, and I trust the odds in here already. Then 5th is Luxembourg. This is for me a little bit surpriseful. It's 86% chance, but also it's a little bit logical in my opinion. First of all, the placing in the semifinal, they are competing last, which is the best spot they can be. Also, I think the revamp really is made the song a little bit better, and of course I believe also Luxembourg will invest a lot of time, energy into really show that after 30 years or more than 30 years coming back, they deserve to be in the finals, which I think this is one of the good leitmotifs of this Eurovision year, and I wish them luck. In my opinion, they will struggle a little bit more to qualify, especially because if you watch my previous videos when I was data analyzing where country putting points, they are the dancing song, and there are so many dancey songs in this semifinal, which I think they will compete against each other a little bit, because people at some point don't really tend to vote for many of such songs. But this might be an exception. This might be an exception in the semifinal, and it would be great to have Luxembourg in the finals, and I think they can make it because Tali is a very good performer. We already saw it in their national selection that they can do it, and if they found a way how to even improve it, and they have the perfect position, I think this is the blessing for them to get through. It's like a ticket to the finals at some point. Even the data says that there are not so many countries who would probably send the votes there. This can be completely wrong, because also it's very hard to predict by data in the way that only public voting is presented at Eurovision just basically from last year, if I don't count the very past passed. Cyprus is just continuing with 77% chance on position number 6 right now, and Poland on number 7 with 73% chance, and Serbia 72% chance to qualify, which is, I think, a big blessing for Serbia that still, even in the odds, they are one of those almost sure qualifiers. Where the bread is breaking, it's in Slovenia with number 9 and 10 with Portugal. For me, if this is a surpriseful or not, I think that also if I just count the placing of them in the semifinal, even though it's not bad, especially for Yolanda from Portugal, it can be harder to get through public vote because it's a niche song. On the other hand, who's 11? Australia with 55% chance, and Ireland with 46, Azerbaijan 42% chance, and Moldova and Iceland both 24% chance. Basically almost nothing. If I can guess, because from my data basically comes that who should qualify is Moldova and Azerbaijan based on historical public vote. But also in this case, it's very diverse semifinal. There are few sure qualifiers. In my opinion, all the Balkan countries will qualify, also due to the fact that they will give each other a lot of points, which is very hard to get. Like if you just say that each of those countries will receive 12 10s, automatical 8s, and do it 3 times, more other countries need to receive much more points to even, fight it. And in my opinion, you will need about around 60, maybe 50 points to get through, which is not, it feels like it's not hard to get, but imagine that 19 countries do, and you need to appear at least in each of them with 3 points to get through. Not an easy job because so many countries will receive most of the points, which I think this is from 1 to, let's say, 8, which is starting with Croatia, ending with Serbia right now, and then Slovenia and Portugal. In Slovenia case, because 9 and 10 place is the place of the biggest fight. In my opinion, all those countries who are below, let's say 11 and 12, maybe 13, Azerbaijan, they will fight for this last 2 places. The best position in here is, in my opinion, Slovenia, especially because there are votes around. On the other hand, in my opinion, Slovenia, it's not the countries who's receiving the most points from their neighbors. But let's see how it's gonna get, because this is very interesting. For example, we have both Luxembourg and Cyprus and Lithuania basically sure qualifiers in this list, which are 3 dancey songs. In my opinion, it wouldn't be easy for all of them to qualify, and I can also kind of put Poland there, right? Because also it's up-tempo song, even though I believe that the concept of the visual and all the staging will be a little bit different. Cyprus, Luxembourg and Lithuania, they kind of share a very similar concept. Even, of course, those songs are not the same, but for example, Luxembourg and Cyprus, this will be the same formula. A lot of dancing, singing, and a lot of dancing, and a lot of dancing, which might work, but I'm not sure if it will work for the public the way that they will choose all of them to pass through. For Poland speaks the diaspora voting 100%. This is perfect semifinal for them, also for Lithuania, because also UK can vote over there. So they have much more countries, and also Sweden, if I'm not wrong. Like, let's check. Yes, United Kingdom and Sweden can vote in here, which are points for Baltics, which are points for dancey tracks, and which are also points for Poland and Lithuania respectively. If I just go back to the odds, can Moldova be a surprise for qualifier? Like, I kind of see that if I just take what the outcome is, like what is the response on the song, what is the response by the odds on the song, or all the other polls, no one really expects Moldova to qualify, even though from my data is visible that this is one of the songs people might put votes, because it's a mid-tempo thing. It has this it's one of the least songs which in this semifinal has those very clear national ethno vibes, even though maybe you wouldn't agree with me, but they are more clear, and this is all what those countries are tend to vote for. So chance for Moldova to receive a lot of like 2s, 3s, 4s, it's bigger, higher, for example, than for Iceland or Ireland, in my opinion, which after all goes with the shocky way, but maybe this will struggle with first of all Finland, and also I think the other fight will be with Croatia, which will receive the most, and in my opinion, and also with the dancey songs, because dance and fun, they are kind of going together, So this for me, if I would say 9 and 10 points, who's 9-9, who's now 10, who's now 11 and 12, and maybe 13, they should really be doing maximum for their stage presence. Of course, Are those numbers trustable? I would say that for number 1 to 4, it's clear. I would say also who can be clear qualifier is Poland due to only public voting, and I wouldn't mind even Serbia and Slovenia to go through, especially also for those reasons, and also those are strong songs. I can tell that if there is a jury, for sure Serbia, Slovenia, and also Portugal are clear qualifiers. With just public voting, this is unclear, and I'm very curious if already the data from odds or the predictions from odds in here might be correct. What do you think? Write me in the comments below. And let's go to the second semifinal. The semifinal number 2 don't have such a super clear qualifiers as semifinal number 1 in the percentage feel. They're like more, or how to interpret this? Like let's go through the data. Netherlands, Switzerland, Belgium, and Greece. Sure qualifiers by the odds, all of them over 90% of chance of qualifying. If you compare it to the first one, 96 was for the first one, and second one here Netherlands has 94, Switzerland 93, but in my opinion that doesn't really matter, the percentage. It's in my personal opinion, there are just sure qualifiers, and some betting companies didn't even raise the votes for it. It makes no sense because for them it's probably 100% chance, which tells a lot. Belgium, Greece in my data don't really do that well based on in what semifinal they are in. On the other hand, it's a big fan favorite at some point. It's a big favorite to win Eurovision at some point. It's in top 10. This year, in my opinion, you will need like 300, 350 songs, 300 or 350 points or in something in between to win the whole Eurovision, because the points from juries and from public, I think they will be spread a lot and it will be surpriseful. In my opinion, everybody who's now considered in top 10 really might win Eurovision due to this fact that it's unclear. It's at least now it's unclear. Let's wait a little bit later. Then 5th is Armenia, then Norway, all both with 86% chance. Then Israel with 82, Austria with 81, Estonia 64, Georgia 54. Austria, in here it's 8. In my prediction, the number where it was placed, it's even higher due to the fact that in this semifinal, in this particular semifinal, they are basically the only dance track which people like to vote. Of course, we don't know how will be the stagings. Maybe also Marina Sati from Greece will have a like very dancey staging, but a different vibe. This is a clear dancey song from Austria, and people tend to vote for it. So in my opinion, if Kalin will be able to present the song perfectly, vocally, confident, which I think it wouldn't be a problem, I'm pretty sure their staging will be very perfect in the way of editing and lighting especially. So it will be an experience. People will vote for it, and I would put it even higher, especially when juries don't vote. So even some imperfections won't really play any kind of significant role. Estonia is on number 9 and Georgia number 10. For me, to be seeing Estonia on number 9, it's a little bit weirder, I would say, because it's very melodical, also very funny song, that it will be higher. Of course, the biggest competition for them is Netherlands, who's the clear champion of this semifinal, because like it's most funny and we can expect probably a big show. Dutch can do amazing stagings in general, regardless the genre. So I'm not really worried about this. Maybe not from the first place, that would be a big surprise in my opinion, because in my opinion this is the public vote catcher, but also it's Estonia. Maybe Netherlands will receive a lot of 12s and 10s, but also in my opinion Estonia, with their very specific kind of fun, will receive also 8s, 7s, 6, and it will be enough. So for me, this is not such unclear that Estonia would pass through. I would be much more worried actually about Austria at some point, but I'm not. In this list, in my opinion, we are playing for 10th place, much more. And there is 11 Denmark with only 43% chance, and Georgia has only 54% chance, right? Latvia with Don's hollow ballot, only 33%. People don't like, odds don't believe in it. It's a very different competition this year, and also only public voting. If there is a jury, I wouldn't be worried about Latvia and probably also about Denmark, but they are not in here. Then San Marino, which will definitely receive, for example, points from Spain. Albania, it's a dark horse of the semifinal. I'm not really happy about the revamp, but I have a big feeling about the diaspora voting, because they are very strong and they will be fighting for 10th or 9th place to qualify, and they can very surprise and mix the cards completely. This, which is not a good really sign, especially for Georgia, and let's say from this list from Estonia, in other of my calculation, it would be also a problem for Greece, even though you might say like I'm crazy, but this is just data speaking. My personal view is that Greece is safe. Just the data tells a little bit different story, especially in this draw, because they have no particular friends there really to support this. But let's see, I think it's made for public, they will do great, they hired an amazing team. I'm not really worried that much. Malta, 25%, and Czechia, deadly last, completely almost without a chance. I think this only can improve. It's a miracle will happen in the semifinal, because this is the country which cannot really like wait for diaspora voting or neighbor voting. It's not there for them. Like there is nothing like this exists. There is no country which could do this for Czechia. So automatically they need to really impress to receive those few points, and just, you know, fingers crossed that for this semifinal maybe 35, maybe 40 points will be enough to qualify from the 10th place because of the spread of the votes. But I'm very curious about this. I think this semifinal is much more interesting in this regards, even though we will see the results after the whole Eurovision, from which position each country qualified. I forgot, and I was a little bit mistaken with Austria. It's not the only dancing song, it's also Malta, which is perfect position starting the show. And Sara Boni, she already proved that she can perfectly sing and she can also amazingly dance. This is also, even data says, also completely different story. For me also it might be a little bit dark horse, because if she will be better than Austria, then it's a problem for Austria, because Austria the same as Czech Republic, and also basically for Malta, they have no like really diasporas, they don't have really like classical neighbor voting in here. Even for Malta speaks that Italy is also voting in here and can help them a little bit go upper. I'm not really sure, but I would say that I wouldn't really scratch off Malta from the list, because she will start the show pompously, and after all this is their only chance. But they have all the cards in their hands at the point that she really can do the song. The song is catchy, however you take it, it's the more classical Eurovision formula, and this formula kind of works, and there is nothing which goes with this formula in this semifinal, which is also very interesting about this semifinal, that all the countries, even though they are balanced, they are a bit different, there is not really a typical like Eurovision song, like the cliche, you know. Malta, it's the cliche here. And people like to vote for cliches also, because it's very familiar, and I think this might help them, and this can create a drama in this last 2, maybe 3 positions even in here. Let's say who has 80% chance, this is almost clear, but we had surprises at Eurovision, and in my opinion, if the surprise will happen in here, a big one, it's on Greece's behalf, which I don't personally believe, but what I would believe much more, that it could be on behalf of Austria. It's pity to see Latvia and Denmark basically having very low chances in here, because all of those artists are, in my opinion, brilliant, but in the wrong semifinal, in my opinion, and also exactly because it's public voting. Public will vote more likely for ethno, for fun, and for something which will extend, which is, if I can take Mustis before the party is over, this is a, let's say, better chance qualifier, just because it's more dramatic and it has this amazing run till the end, you know. It's this gradation, I think it's the best out of those songs which we can kind of compare together. One other thing I wanted to say, that for Belgium also said that probably Netherlands gives 12 points, France gives 12 points. This is already 24 points. This is very hard to get. This is very, very hard to get normally, 24 points, because imagine that if you are in every single list, which will include 20 countries here to vote, or let's say 19 countries vote for each other, including the rest of the world, that means that you must receive, to reach 24, at least 1 to 2 points from every single one of them, you know, from every single one of them, to have combination of 1 and 2s to just get it. So you must be on the list, but it won't be enough. So this is a little bit crazy, and if I'm a producer in here, it's like, what to do, you know, and this is a stressful situation for some. For Latvia goes that also Denmark is there, Norway is there, those 2 countries which might tend to vote for them. Like really, they might tend to vote for Baltics. This is the pattern. Let's see, it might not be enough, and also might, for Latvia's behalf, might go that Dons is really charismatic, and I think he can sell it for the older audience who might vote. But I'm very curious about this outcome because there are many countries who will fight for those places. In my opinion, it's still Albania, it's still Latvia, it's still Denmark, and at some level it might be Malta. For Czech Republic, I don't really believe this year is the year for Czech Republic, but I would be very happy if they will surprise. But also, you might have a different opinion about those lists, and if you believe the odds are now at least accurate, and which countries do you think are really on the verge of qualification and who might surprise? Who is your dark horse for semifinal 1 or semifinal 2? Write me in the comments below, let me know. I'm very curious. For me, mathematically, it would look differently, but let's have this in mind that those odds will also change. Closer and closer we will get to those semifinals. They will change maybe rapidly, maybe not, but as I said, last year odds were 9 percentage, but they had only one mistake in public voting, so they were very accurate, and this is alarm for every country who is below this 10 now. Yes, and this is all for me from now, because I have nothing else to interpret. I probably will come to this list after all the pre-parties. Watch my videos, reactions from pre-parties. I did, like, I call it odds battles. It's very funny format when I'm reacting on their performance in Madrid, which were brilliant in my opinion in general, and saying like who might do better, who did better, and so on. So do this, and also watch my podcasts, which gives you a different kind of value. They are more thoughts of a producer towards specific topics which are connected to Eurovision and might give you a different things to think about. Yes, and that's it. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, become a member, and give me super likes or buy me a coffee to help this channel to grow. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye.